Hello, my name is Irene and I talk about my opinions on books. Hopefully I can give you a few good recommendations. Before I get started, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about the goals I had for 2020 and the goals I have for 2021. Last year, I obviously had no clue what this year was going to be like, so I am surprised that I did as well with these goals as I did. So I'm just going to go over them, and then as I'm doing this, tell you my new goals for the next year. So we're just going to get started. Before I want to say that one thing I'm going to do in 2021 is pick up books based off of my mood instead of making a TBR and planning it out. I want to just read books as I feel it in the moment. But that's not necessarily a goal. That's just going to be something I strive for because there's no way to really measure that. But at the end of the year, I'll tell you if I achieve that too. But first things first, one of my old goals for 2020 was to read 60 books. And yes, I did this. I read 85 books, so I surpassed it by 25. That's pretty good, honestly. I didn't expect that I would do as good as I did because I never have before. I've never read 85 books in a year before, so this is really good. This might have been because of the pandemic and the fact that I was at home a lot more and I didn't work for several months because of this, and I also have I've worked at this job this entire year, and I have reading time there, unlike the job I had before during the last year. So yeah, 85 books. That means that in 2021 I am still planning on reading 60 books. I don't like to get a bigger goal than that because 60 books is perfect because that means one book basically a week, which makes it so I'm consistently reading, which is good. So I'm sticking with the goal of 60 books. Hopefully I can surpass it, but the goal is just to reach that. The next goal I had was to read 12 classics. In the beginning, this was really easy. I had so many classics I wanted to read, and then at the end of the year it got harder because I started DNFing a ton of classics because I wasn't enjoying them that much. Maybe I wasn't in the mood, but next year I am planning on only reading 6 classics and 6 nonfiction books for this goal. So I don't want to read as many classics as I did last year because it was hard, but I did achieve it. I did read 12 classics, and next month I'm going to talk about those 12 classics from least favorite to favorite. Some of those are some of my favorites of all time. I'm really happy I did this, but it was a bit much. So I'm going to be reading only 6 classics next year and 6 nonfiction because I never really read nonfiction books. I'm in college right now, so I guess I read textbooks and stuff, but it's not the same thing. I read a couple nonfiction books in 2020 and I loved them, and it made me realize how much I enjoy learning and that I want to know more about people's ideas on things. So I'm going to try to do that. I already have like 6 planned out. I'm also really interested in true crime, so hopefully I can get to a few books that are about true crime and stuff. I think that would be fun. So this goal I accomplished, but next year is going to be I'm not going to read as much. The third goal is get my currently reading down to 5. I worded it that way because of Goodreads, and yes, I did this. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, but I think that what helped was I DNF'd a lot of series that I wasn't really interested in continuing on in, and yeah, technically I'm currently reading more series, but I'm not counting the ones that the next book hasn't come out yet because I can't continue on with it if I wanted to. So those don't count, but the ones that do still have books out, yes. And I am keeping this goal the same for next year. I want to also keep my currently reading down to 5. by the end of the year. So during the year I could get up to 20, but at least as long as I finish those 20 series or get as far as them as I can, then I accomplish it. So it's basically the same thing. The fourth one is DNF books more. This year I did not do as good a job with this. I DNF'd a lot of books, but there were still many books that I didn't DNF that I should have. And I'm working on it. I think I got better, but I don't think I accomplished it because there are still books that I'm like, why did I even finish that? You know, it wasn't good. Like, why didn't I just go on to something else? Like, why did I put this pressure on myself? And I realize it's because of my TBRs. That's why I mentioned that in the beginning, is that I'm no longer going to be doing TBRs and writing down lists of things that I want to read, because my mood changes. And if I start reading that book and then I feel like I don't want to finish it, I feel like I have to, because I made a video about it and saying that I was going to read it, so I didn't want to feel like a liar. I know no one watches my videos, but like, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm going to get better at DNFing books, like, because I'm not doing TBRs, so I think that will help a lot. So I'm keeping that goal. It's important to me to only read books that I enjoy. I'm starting to realize quality over quantity, but I still really strive for the quantity, because I really surpassed my goal. I just wanted to have so many books. I just wanted to read so many books, and I just need to focus more on quality than quantity. It's a bad trait of mine. Anyway, my fifth goal is actually laughable. I cannot believe I made this my goal last year. Okay, so my goal was to finish my book. That did not happen. I know that talented, experienced, published authors can do that, where they write a book in a couple months and then edit it in another few months, and then they have a book out in a year. But I'm not experienced. This is my first time writing a book, and just to give myself a year to write it and edit it and make it perfect for myself. And then I also didn't know that the whole pandemic thing would happen, and the whole pandemic thing really took away it gave me more time, but it took away my desire or my inspiration to do it, because I was a very negative environment and it wasn't good writing space. My mind just couldn't focus on that when there were so many other things in the world going on. So I'm honestly not mad at myself for not doing this goal. I think that I just didn't know any better to think I could actually do that. And maybe I can in the future. In the future I could probably do that, but not now. Not with this book. And yeah, so I'm not making any goals about my book anymore. So because I don't want to pressure myself with that right now, especially when I'm probably not going to publish it ever, because it's my first one. So my fifth goal, new goal, is to read more diverse books. So this is a kind of a problem that I have, is I never look at the author, ever. I pick up books solely based on the plot. And there's one author that I read his books just because it's him, and that's Brandon Sanderson, but other than that, I never look at the authors. And I realized recently that I want to create a video about my favorite authors, but I don't really know which ones those are because I just read a bunch of random authors. And then I noticed that if I were to do that video, it would be mostly white men and white women, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying those books, but I really do want to have a diverse selection of authors that I love, because I'm just reading from people that I can relate to their experiences, and I'm not reading from people that could make me see things in a different way than I already do. You know, and each person can make me see things in a different way, but I'm just saying that I'm realizing it's important to read more diverse authors. So if you have any recommendations of diverse authors, that could mean that they're from a different culture, or it could be their sexual orientation or anything like that. I am down to read it. I prefer fantasy. I'm actually really into sci-fi right now. Maybe romance. I only like certain types of romance, so that's a little bit harder. But yeah, I think, or classics, that would be amazing if there's more diverse, because I didn't read that many diverse classics this year. So anyway, hopefully, you know, you can give me some recommendations, and hopefully by the end of next year I can give you some recommendations, because I think that's kind of important to have diverse authors to love. And I am excited about all the books because there's so many books by diverse authors that I am so interested in. I'm not going to mention them right now because I'm not doing a TBR video, but there's so many ones that sound so good and I'm excited for. And you will hear me talking about them next month, because I know that I am going to be reading these books next month, and it's going to be really exciting. So hopefully that goes well. Anyway, those are my goals. So hopefully I accomplish them all next year, and then I'll come back and judge how I did, which will be fun. I did pretty good last year with my goals, besides one, but I can't even blame myself. That was a bit much to do in 2020, you know? Anyway, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I will see you next time. Bye!